We've all had that moment in GTA where you're loading into a race and you don't quite know what car to use. You can't use any custom cars because, well, you've got no money. So, what do? You settle for second best. You have to go with a stock car. But what is the best car for you to use? If you don't have the money, but or even if you're looking for a car, what's the best one? Well, I'm gonna go over the 5 that I think are the best in the game. And what I've done before recording this, I've gone through my test track, put all 5 cars through the test track. Why did I say all 3? All 5 cars on my test track to see what kind of time I could get. And the first one, number 5, I'm already pointing at it, is the Overflood Autark. The Autark, it has really good handling, which is something I always look for in a car, and that's the reason I decided to try it. But I wasn't expecting much from the Autark. I'm not expecting most from most cars in this game. The Wagner, the XA21, all of them are good. But I picked the Autark. I don't know why I picked the Autark. But I'm gonna go. I picked it. I wasn't expecting much. When I put it on the track, I'm just gonna give you the times for each car. I put it on the track, and it managed 1:30.741. If you want the exact time, it was 1:30.741. I was expecting 1:32 almost every time, but it managed to keep up with some pretty high tier cars, pretty high level cars. So if you're a good player, you might be able to keep up with the rest of the pack with this thing. But number 4 is a better option because it has slightly better handling. It's the S80RR. Again, a handling car. I'm addicted to handling. Grip, like the way the car turns, how aggressively it turns, is all quite important in a race. Maybe not a stunt race. Maybe it's more focused on the stunt race. Is more focused on speed, but the top 3 cars kind of manage that anyway. And there are still turns in a stunt race. Like, come on. The S80RR. Yeah, at higher speeds, when I put it round, I did notice it has a little bit of understeer, but that can be countered with upgrades and just being able to learn that you have to slow down a tiny bit for each corner, like a tiny bit more than each car, than the other cars for each corner. But once you do, this car is very, very good. It's planted on the floor. And you can just see how low down it is. It's a very good car. And it managed 1:30.658, which not much faster than the Autark, but still faster. But the S80RR, still a very good car. Definitely recommend it. It is costly. You are going to need to grind quite a lot for it, but we do have the contract, which you can repeat over and over again if you're very tight for cash. But now we're getting into the top 3. And it's between these two. These two have been talked about for so long. Since they came out, which is better? I've wanted to talk about this in a video for a long time. I'm going to quickly go over it, and I might actually make a full video comparing these two at some point. But for now, number 3 is the Krieger. It's actually the Krieger, which I was surprised by. I always thought the Krieger was a bit humorously the first car I ever managed to see on my track. But this time, I improved, because it managed a 129.489, which that's good. Basically 129.5 is very good for that track. Definitely cementing itself as a top tier car. Once again, very expensive, nearly 3 million to get this thing. It's definitely probably about 3.5 million for that and the upwards, which is extremely expensive. You're gonna have to sell your everything for that. Your house, your legs. You're gonna be able to get the car, but you're not gonna be able to drive it. But it was edged out slightly by just under, under 0.2 of a second by the Emirates. The Emirates 129.290. Which even I was surprised by. I actually thought it would be slightly slower than the Krieger because it doesn't have the same speed. But on a twisty track, the Emirates will annihilate the Krieger because of how much more aggressively it turns. It can get around the corners so much faster and so much easier than the Krieger. And I think the Emirates has slightly better acceleration as well, so it can get out of the corners faster as well. But these two cars are nothing compared to number one. And when I put these cars around the track, I'm not joking when I say that the Ignis beat by exactly 1 full second. I had a recent video saying that this was the best car in the game, and I'm just proving it once again with this video because it did 128.9, which I'm pretty sure is the lap record for my track. I haven't checked the last one, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the lap record, which is ridiculous. But the lap record for stock cars, I'm pretty sure the actual lap record belongs to the Formula 1 cars. They don't really count, I mean, come on now. But I'm going to quickly go over 2 points that very, very quickly. These are the best supercars in the game. Hypothetically, if we had, let's say, anything goes kind of race, where you can use any car from any class, the Formula 1 cars would annihilate, would say the big, where the DR1 is an Indy car. But the other three, they're Formula 1 cars, which, yeah, they're gonna absolutely smash anything in any other category. And the second point that I want to go for, these cars are the fastest cars. Good. But also one that's probably the most fun that I've had playing GTA. And that's the Tyrus. I love this car. I used it just doing a bunch of races with my friends just as a laugh, just for fun, and I've never enjoyed racing in GTA more than that. So if you want to get into racing, if you want to just race with your friends, get them all to use a Tyrus and just have a blast. And I will also say the Tyrus is actually pretty good for learning how to race as well, because while it's not nowhere near as fast as the rest of them, the Ignis, the Emirates, the Krieger, the SAT, the Autark, as I mentioned, it still has this car. This is by far my favourite car in the game. And when I did those races with my friends, I got so much. I bought one. This is my own custom Tyrus that I have. And I love it. So, there we are. That is my pick for the top 5 cars, as well as a couple points that I wanted to make. And I just want to say, hopefully, I have more plans for videos that I want to start making again. I have a few plans in mind. Hopefully, I can actually execute them this time. So, thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you next time.